Absolutely.
Welcome to the U.S. World Junior Summer Showcase, Day 4 here at Ritter Arena on the University of Minnesota campus, and we definitely have on paper what could be the best game of the entire tournament. The undefeated Swedes, you see them coming onto the ice right now, will take on a combination team of the United States. They have pared down their roster. The first couple games, it was USA white, USA blue. Now there is just one USA club, and they will take on this Swedish team that has been very impressive. Joining me this afternoon, Packy Munson. And Packy, look at what we're about to see here, and I'm excited to see what happens here because the Swedes have been so good, so quick, decisive, attacking right in your face. So it's really made whoever their opponent has been to play at a much faster pace.
Yeah, 5-on-5 especially, they've been so hard to deal with. And from the back end out, just so elusive, make so many plays. They really put you in a shell defensively, and in their own end, they work extremely hard to make it hard to get a puck on net.
All right, what do you think of this matchup? I anticipate this. I threw it out there that this could be the best game that we've seen to this point.
Yeah, you got to think, looking at these rosters, a lot of these players are going to be, back here in December, and you got to think, for this U.S. team, a really strong forward group they're putting on the ice here. Cole Eiserman making an appearance today after, not playing at either game on Monday. So this will be really fun, man. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. Both goaltenders were extraordinary in their performances earlier in the week, and should be a good matchup.
Yeah, Eiserman making his summer showcase debut, first-round pick of the New York Islanders, played at Boston University, won gold last year with Team USA, and it's great to see him out here and competing, and he takes a seat on the bench as the Spellacy unit starts this game, and we have a quick icing, and we'll see how this one plays out. Herman Liv is the goaltender for Sweden. Well, the United States, they've been splitting goaltenders throughout. Nick Kempf is getting the start from the University of Notre Dame. Off the face-off, Swedes control, long shot. Turned away by Kemp. Rebound comes back to the point. Held in, but now Team USA takes over. They'll swing it in behind their own net. And taking a look here, Spellacy still at center, swooping through, gives it to Horcroft on the near side. Bank pass off the boards, and the U.S. gains the blue line, comes in. Versaghi goes to the corner, throws it in behind, centering pass by Stiga. Hit the back of the net. Now Osborne put it right on the net in behind. Versaghi came out the back door, but Liv was right there.
That all started with the forecheck here from that bottom line of Spellacy, Horkoff, and Van Sage. All three of them over 6'2", a lot of energy in that line. I think could be really effective here tonight.
Now Bjork in on the forecheck. Osborne moves it ahead, and the United States will come out to center. They'll throw it in from there. Back near the blue line, got caught in the lines with skate, but Osborne does a nice job to keep it in the offensive zone momentarily. Now back in come the Swedes. Circling in behind. Nielsen in behind the net, brings it back to the point. Now to the near side, walking right in. Good chance there by Ekberg, but he put it wide of the cage. Ekberg with it on the far side, dumps it to the corner, centering pass, and great anticipation there by Kempf to block that centering feed, and then he covers for the faceoff.
Yeah, Nick Kempf, a fourth-round draft pick by the Washington Capitals. The only goalie on this U.S. squad with college experience, which I think will pay off for him. And as you see here, a little low play trying to hit the back door. Really good job by him blocking that pass, and great cover here to kind of slow things down here for this U.S. team.
Less than 2 minutes in. Linus Eriksson on the face-off for the Swedes. And he controls it back to the point. It's floated to the corner. U.S. takes over there, and they'll send it down ice. They wave the icing. Magnuson has to go back to retrieve. Wallenhos gets it ahead, and now here come the Swedes through center. Pass fed across behind Nielsen. He has to turn for it. Kleber ties him up, but the Swedes control, trying to float it in front. Good job by Kleber, though, to tie up his man, and he was a little too effective, and he will take a slashing call here. And so the U.S. will be shorthanded early in this game against the Swedes.
A lot of blood on the ice here from Nielsen. It looked like just a battle in front of the net. Rombach got in there with the stick. It didn't seem like it was anything intentional, but Nielsen's going off the ice here with a lot of blood coming out of his mouth.
Oh, yeah, he really did get cut down there. We'll have to see the officials discussing it now. I'm sure the Swedes want to see this to be a 5-minute major.
Just a tough play. It didn't seem like it was really a high stick, but, you know, kind of a slash was the initial call, and seemed kind of more of incidental contact, which caused a little blood there on the ice.
You're right. It's Jacob Rombach. And it is a minor penalty. Rombach headed to the University of Minnesota. But now he is headed to the penalty box for the next couple of minutes. So we've seen this Swedish power play before, and they've been pretty effective, especially working the backdoor play. They seem to really like to get to the outside, although the Swedes were 0 for 2 last time out. Still, it's been a big key for them.
It's a really effective unit. All 5 guys shooting threats, lots of movement. Kind of seems positionalist at times, but a lot of talent, a lot of sticks that make Kempf work here, and we'll see how the penalty kill holds up.
Still cleaning up the blood on the far side in that offensive zone corner. As soon as they get that taken care of, we will get things going here. But now for the people that are watching and trying to figure out who Bob Motzko and John Van Beesbroek are going to select, and you see this team cut down, this isn't necessarily the team that they'll put on the ice in December when the tournament starts. A lot of players, some of the players are shoo-ins. You can figure out probably who those guys are. I don't think Mr. Iserman has to worry about his spot on the roster. But some different names are in there, and I think in these last 3 games, you'll see the coaching staff and the USA staff stick players in that they want to get a second, third look at. This is your chance, but then you'll also have the first half of your season wherever you're playing at to impress. But this one's pretty important when you're playing right under their eyeballs.
Yeah, I think you have all these players together. It's a really easy time for them to see them match up and see them in different lines and with different players. You see things click that, it's going to be hard to overlook that part when you're trying to build your team.
Jack Berglund on the draw. U.S. though controls, and they get the big clear right out of the gate. Skahan sends it all the way down. Spellacy, who's been good penalty killing for the United States up front with Versaghi, who's also been used a lot in these situations as the 2 forwards killing for the United States. Now Pedersen has to backtrack in his own zone as that pass was off the mark, gets it to Frey. He'll go rink wide. They'll drop it back. Zetterberg comes across the line. Shot right on, big save. Pedersen tried, but the save was made there and booted out, and rebound put back out to center as Kemp came up with the save. Right back in are the Swedes, and the stick goes over the glass and out of play. That could be a tough one to get back. One of the kids grabbed it on the far side of the wall, and if I was him, I'd head for the exit because you had a $200 stick in your hand, way better. And then put it in the car and then buy another ticket to get back in.
Right you are.
Now back near the blue line. Stenberg drops it down low. 37 seconds left to go on this advantage. Sweden, Stenberg brings it back to the point. One-timer. Not much on that shot by Boumediene. Now he gets another chance to set it up. Turning on the far side, Norland snaps a quick shot wide of the target. 5 seconds left on the penalty time. Stenberg goes to the net, centering pass right in front. Referee finally says the puck is covered, and just as the penalty expires, so good offensive opportunities here for Sweden as they have 6 shots on goal already.
Yeah, this second unit from Sweden came in right away and was looking to go east-west. A lot of their players trying to look for the back door. We're really patient. We're really looking to shoot very much. And as you can see here, Kemp, really good job. Doesn't overcommit, gets across, and a great save by Nick Kemp.
Well, the face-off will come in the U.S. zone. U.S. back at full strength. Osborne picks it up, whips it out to center. Tipped in by Kuznica. And the U.S. bench is barking about that, saying, I don't know if that was an icing. It looked like he got a stick on it. But they're going to bring the face-off back down into the United States zone. And this afternoon, it looks like Bob Motzko is on the bench for Team USA. He wasn't behind the bench the first couple of days, choosing to observe from up top. But now he's hopped behind the bench for this game this afternoon. Kemp knocks it to the corner. Fiddler gets it out to center, but it's turned right back. And now the U.S. Cole McKinney sends it down ice again. Another icing call, and so far the U.S. has not been able to get really on track. They had that early penalty, and They just haven't really found their mojo. But again, there's a lot of different lines put back together. I mean, Hagens, Ziemer, and Stiga, they've been together, but Riker, Potter, Iserman, I don't even know if they've had a shift yet this point because of the penalty.
Yeah, good energy from the U.S., but definitely, especially with that penalty kill, hard to get things going offensively. Hopefully, get some going here in the next few minutes.
Off the draw, puck cleared down again. This time, not far enough out. I say, great steal and put it up over the top of the net. And there's a penalty on Sweden as an extra shot was taken on Kuznica after he had that opportunity. And so Sweden now will go down a man.
What an effort here, Vesnik. Even tries to get it up top here and just misses the net and draws a penalty in the process.
I think that was a defenseman that got beat.
Yeah. Little retaliation.
Yep. So now the Swedes will be shorthanded as Gabriel Eliasson goes to the box for cross-checking. So now we get a chance to see what this U.S. power play will look like. Hagens at center, Stiga on one wing, Osborne on one point. He'll drop it off to the far side. That's Iserman playing the far wing, number 9. His shot was blocked, and the Swedes get the clear. Hagens drops it back. Osborne gives it back. Iserman, Hagens, Stiga across the line. Tried to go rink wide, pass was blocked, carries on. Nice move there to give himself some more room. Osborne, Hagens, down to the side of the net. Back to the point. Long shot, looking for the tip. He had the man. The deflection just went wide. He had space there too, did Stiga. Now a rip by Iserman is wide of the target, and the U.S. has to regroup. That allows Sweden to put out fresh penalty killers. Osborne gets it across the line. Puck bounce out front. Quick shot goes wide. Now Ziemer goes rink wide. Iserman knocked off the puck there as Wallenhus moves into him. U.S. though maintains possession. Hagens back near the blue line. Walking to the bottom of the circle. Osborne, Hagens fires it across just out of the reach of Iserman. Great setup there, but not getting good wood on the shot was Ziemer, and the rebound sent all the way down.
Good looks there by Team USA power play. You know, a couple didn't obviously find the back of the net there, but got to be happy with the pressure they applied.
Yeah, the movement and the passing, very crisp.
Luke Osborne, such a threat every time he has the puck. He's always creating and always a threat to shoot.
Potter tried to get it in. That was blocked. Sweden back at full strength. Zellers couldn't come up with it. And now the puck back in the U.S. zone. So both teams with a chance on the power play. And both have come up dry. Chipped in by Bjork. USA takes over. Skahan couldn't get it out. Bjork tied up in the corner, lost the puck. USA's Potter couldn't clear the zone. Swedes keeping it alive. Good job there, stepping up with Skahan, knocking the puck free. Still, though, not out. Sweden with extended zone time. Quick shot right on, and Kemp makes a save as Norlund didn't get the shot he was hoping to get off. And Kemp makes a save and holds with 11:21 left in the period.
Really good shift there by the Bjork brothers. Wilson committed to Colorado College, 5th round pick by the Canucks, and his brother, who's only in 08, is a projected top 10 pick next year, Vigo. Both those guys really elusive, really good slip plays, and ends up with a good chance on net, but Kemp stays tall.
What do you think so far? I liked it. I think you can see the skill just oozing out of these players. I mean, they make plays that are extremely difficult look super simple for them.
Well, I think the confidence of both teams, and you can see it in their own zone, even the breakout plays that, you know, there's some risk to it for sure, but they're so high skill that they can execute almost any breakout and kind of make something out of nothing every time.
Kleber gets it to Spellacy. He'll dump it back into the corner for the big UMD Bulldog defenseman. He'll push it in behind. And we're going to get another whistle and a penalty call here. And so now some pushing and shoving in the corner. Linesman jump in. And we will see. It looked like Horcroft maybe got a stick in there, but I don't know if that's who they're tagging with the penalty. Oh, Kutsnika will go to the penalty box instead. So Sweden with their second chance on the power play, ready to load up again. Lindbergh to take the face off against Spellacy. Stenberg has his pocket picked. Spellacy shorthanded coming to the net, and it's poked off his stick at the last second as Boom de Dion got a piece of it and knocked it to the corner.
Second penalty kill in a row that A.J. Spellacy all over the puck, all over the D, not giving them any time and space to make any plays, and almost gets a scoring chance out of it.
Now coming through center, Stenberg plays it over to the far side. Erickson winds it around. Tied up there, U.S. gets a steal, and they get the clear and send it down. Now coming up, Norland, broken up at the blue line. Stenberg carries on, gives to Lindbergh, drops it off. Quick shot fired wide by Norland. Back near the blue line. Iserman gets it back to the point. Stenberg, less than a minute on the power play. Goes across the blue line, now fed low. Norland back to the point. Long shot, Kemp fought it off with a glove, and then the rebound was cleared by McKinney. He can't get it out, though, as waiting on the far side is Norland. Back to Boom de Dion. Drops it off. Stenberg's shot deflects wide. Sweden not as quick moving the puck on this power play. Stenberg drops it down low. Gets it back. Now he'll bring it back. Same play we saw earlier on this power play. Nordland drops it off. Looking for the tip right out in front, and it just got tipped wide by Erickson. USA back at full strength.
It's a big kill by the U.S. Two big saves there by Nick Kempf.
Lindbergh drops it in. Deep. Wallenus, the defenseman, activates. Now driving to the net, coming right in front and almost being able to finish there, but couldn't get it in on the short side. And they do get the goal. Sweden jams it in. They killed the penalty, but Jack Berglund is able to knock it in. And so it is 1-0 Sweden here in the first period.
A really effective kill by Team USA, and obviously a huge save there by the goaltender. But out of the 5-on-5, a little bit scrambly, kind of playing more of a man-on-man here with how much movement Team Sweden does. And second-round pick by the Flyers, Jack Berglund, just tucks one here in the back door. Vesnicka in good position, but just a really nice play by Berglund.
And, you know, U.S. just didn't get that clear they needed, right? They killed the penalty, and then they're kind of like, okay, we got out of this. But then they couldn't get it out of their own end, get reset, and Swedes kept the pressure on. Now we got some rough stuff on the far side. Berglund tied up. And we're going to get more penalties. Hagens goes to the box. And it looks like these will be matching penalties. You've seen more hitting here than you did the entire U.S. or the Canadian inter-squad last night.
So much talent on the ice. 22 first-round picks. Gavin McKenna, Schaefer, the #1 overall pick by the Islanders out there. And, yeah, was definitely more of a skill session than a rock'em sock'em by any means. But it'll be really interesting to see how they play tonight.
So these are coincidental penalties. So we will stay 5-on-5. Zemer took the draw, but couldn't keep it in the offensive zone. And now the U.S. plays it in. Moe after it. Gets to the corner. Back to Osborne. Long shot, save made. Delayed penalty coming up on Sweden. And they touch up, and so now the U.S. will get a chance on the power play. And this will be their second chance, a cross check. And we've already had 6 penalties called, and we're not even 12 minutes into the game.
Yeah, the referees definitely want to make the World Junior roster too, so they want to make sure they get those penalty calls in there. Yeah, kind of a, I don't know, kind of a nonsense call in my opinion, but nevertheless, USA back on the power play and see what the boys are able to dial up this time. Zeller's on the power play for the first time.
Eliasson in the penalty box for the second time already this afternoon. Zellers drops it off, long bomb, saved by Liv. Iserman knocked down into the corner. Sweden trying to clear. Osborne almost held it in, but he's finally flushed out of the offensive zone, and so Team USA has to reload. Osborne comes to center, drops it back. Now coming to the line, Zemer chips it in behind to Zellers. He'll bring it to the point. Osborne, boy, he's got moves back there. One-time rocket right on, and the save is made as Iserman seems to be, this is just, we've only seen him about 4 or 5 shifts. I think that's his spot over there.
Yeah, Osborne, man, even on Monday, just how elusive his skating, and you know, I can't imagine he's going to be at the University of Wisconsin very long with just how dynamic he is with the puck on his stick.
Potter out there to take the face off against Linus Eriksson. Eriksson wins the draw, and that allows Sweden to clear. Minute 7 to go on this power play. 7 minutes to go in the first period. Tied it, or 1-0 Sweden leads it. Jack Berglund, the lone goal scorer. Horcroft, who had a power play goal earlier in the tournament for the U.S., puts it in behind. Now brings it back to Potter. To the point, Henriks. Quick centering feed, just chopped wide. As on the doorstep was Kuznicka, who's been hanging around the front of the net. Henriks plays it in deep. Horcroft with it there, comes right out front, and is poked off his stick. Puck cleared away. Potter with it, fires, and he put it up high over the top of the net. Had Liv down and was trying to go upstairs. Clear to the line, not out. Potter walking in again, fires this time, and he goes wide on the stick side. Riker Lee falls on the far wall. And Sweden now is able to poke it down to the U.S. zone just as Eliasson comes out of the box. So both teams 0 for 2 on their power play opportunities here in the first period.
Yeah, this Team USA bunch looks a lot more connected here on the power play than they were in the first games on Monday. Just way better execution on entry, doing the double drop, really putting the defensive team on their heels and being able to set up and kind of get on the attack.
Back the other way. Zetterberg tried to center, that hit a skate. Along the wall, Zetterberg gets it back, puts it out front. Long shot, gobbled up easily by Kemp, and he will hold. And now the matching penalty, penalized players come out of their penalty box, and so we're now back. Everybody has full complement on their bench.
Nice glove save here by Kemp. Really been impressed with Herman Liv. Obviously on Monday, stole the game for Team Sweden, and as an undrafted goaltender today, just another standout performance, making it really hard for Team USA to get anything by him.
Shots are now 10-5 in favor of Sweden. But the U.S. has had some good looks on those 5 shots that they've had to this point.
Yeah, it was hard to tell if Potter actually got those shots on net or if they just went wide or off the post. But you want him coming downhill. He's going to be a really hard threat here for Liv. He's coming downhill with that passing option over to Lee.
It's just amazing that this is only July, and these players. I mean, if this was back in the day, there'd be a lot of guys hunched over on the bench, right?
Well, you think about it. Like,
July, but
yeah, I mean, like your off-season training, right? You're trying to build up your body to be ready to go in the fall, and so late July to be ready to go and play at this pace for, with this much talent on the ice. It's really really impressive here by both teams, and yeah, like you said, it's definitely something these guys planned for, and you can tell.
Lindbergh lost that face-off. Moe trying to get it in. McKinney had to retreat as Moe was in ahead of the play, so he'll slide it back down into his own zone. Now McKinney gets across the line, feathers it to Moe. Quick shot, big pad save there by Liv as he stuck out that right pad to make the save on that shot that was labeled for the bottom corner. Now Moe centers it, Zeller's with it, turning in the high slot. Now along the boards. Zeller's being worked over from behind, trying to get it to Moe, does. Moe picks it up there. He's belted along the near boards, and Sweden takes possession. Lindbergh drops it back out of the reach of Zetterberg. Both teams now will make changes. Kleber coming up through center. Stripped to the puck this time, but fortunately the Swedish player fell and couldn't really take advantage of that turnover. Long shot, easily turned away as Stiga tried from distance. Rebound dumped back out to center. Rombach to Kleber. He again charges into the offensive zone. Quick shot, stick save by Liv. Now Fiedler drops it to the corner. Hagens brings it back to the point. Fiedler's shot deflected out front by Ziemer. That went wide of the target. Stiga puts it in behind. Cleared around. Fiedler pinching in from the point. Trying to keep it alive, but Pettersson's able to get it out and down into the U.S. zone. 3:20 to go in the first period. 10-8 now are the shots. Sweden had a huge advantage early. I think it was 8-1 the shots at one point. Delayed offside, so the U.S. has to clear out. Sweden rolls it in from center. Magnuson sent it in deep, coming right down the slot. They score! Buried, busting down the slot. Wallenhus, the defenseman, had an open alley, and he picked the top corner glove or stick side, and it's now 2-0 Sweden.
Yeah, Leo Saline will in a second-round pick of the San Jose Sharks. Really good play there by him to shoot the lane, and really good look there by Wilson Bjork. And yeah, leaves no doubt with that shot right above the pad, and really hard for the goaltender to get set coming from his post out to the middle of the ice, and just a really good shot there by Walenis. We'll have to see how this Team USA answers here. They've been down a goal, and they've been able to bounce back in previous games in this event. But, down 2 against this team, Sweden, and how aggressive they are in all ends of the ice. You can see the D there pitching by the Swedish team, and we'll see if we can, this Team USA can bounce back here and try and get something for the end of the period.
Bjork gets the lone assist as he got the puck in the corner free, and found his man coming right down the slot. Now we get more penalties and confrontation for Sagi into it here. battling with one of the Swedish players. And we'll have more penalties here. We'll see if these are matching as well. It was way away from the play. I don't know how those two got so
they were like
tangled
skating their
up.
own. Yeah, they're like skating on their own on the ice. It was kind of strange. Van Sage, a member of Michigan State, and Boumediene, a member of BU. Maybe a little bad blood from last year at some point, but really,
that could be.
Yeah, really impressive here. If you really pay attention in the offensive zone, Sweden's defenseman, the Team USA defense is getting really puck focused right now. That strong side D shooting through the middle of the ice, and that's been 2 straight scoring chances now by a Swedish defenseman getting a really good look in the lane. We're going to go 5-on-5 here?
I'm not sure how the door is still open to the U.S. penalty box. I think they want an extra player. They do, and Zellers is going to have to serve the extra minor.
And Van Sage's been really good for this USA PK, so we'll see who steps up in his spot.
So Sweden really with a huge chance here to really take control of this hockey game. U.S. down 2 early and now have to kill another penalty. So Van Sage gets 4 minutes, and Sweden only gets 2. So it's another power play, and Kemp looking behind him there, not sure where that shot of Pettersson's went, as he was parked right in the slot and got a good opportunity. But Kemp comes up with the save there.
Both these teams have been so effective on entry. It puts a lot of pressure on the defensive team, getting back on their heels with that drop pass. Alex Zetterberg, future Mankato Maverick, really elusive in that neutral zone and kind of set up that entire play. And I think Kemp's pretty lucky there. He was happy to have that one kind of find its way into the chest.
Well, off the face-off, the U.S. clears as Kleber sends it back down to the Swedish end. 1:45 left in the period, 1:20 left on the power play. Fry drops it back. Zetterberg comes roaring to the blue line, gets it across. Danielson, Zetterberg, Fry, Zetterberg, Pettersson. He'll walk the half boards. Brings it back to Fry. Zetterberg, Fry, one-time shot, carried off Rayom. Went to the corner. Sweden, though, still in control. Goal line, Zetterberg tried to go cross ice, and that's picked off. Back the other way. Floating it ahead. Oh, what a pass. Steamer put it right on the stick of Stiga, but Liv was there again to make the save. 45 seconds left in the period. 21 seconds left on the power play. Swedes get it back in the offensive zone again. Just ripped wide by Eriksson. Now Wolenhus, who has that second goal. His shot didn't get through. He keeps it in the offensive zone. Stenberg had his pocket picked, and now the U.S. will come out. McKinney, 4-on-2 if they hurry. Osborne back to Zellers, throws it in front. That's stolen away. And now Sweden counters. 3-on-2 if they bust it. Back in the drive, right on, and the save is made with 9.6 left in the period, as Norland had that bid from the bottom of the circle.
Yeah, both teams hyper-aggressive, pressuring the puck and opening things up east-west, and that's probably what seems like the 9th one-timer save that Kemp has had to make today alone. But you can see the U.S. penalty kill really pressuring up top, which is opening up their flanks for guys to really wire them.
Face-off, won by the U.S. They get it back near the blue line. Nielsen to Eriksson. He's pummeled in the corner, and he got hit up high, goes down, and now everybody piles into the corner. Erickson back up on his feet, but he caught his shoulder. Now Lee having words, and now it gets elevated a bit with a couple of punches. One of the Swedish players doesn't have his helmet anymore as he's tied up in the corner by Hagens. And now it looks like the linesmen and officials have things under control, but a feisty first we've witnessed here. And now the Swedish coach is having a couple of words. I don't know if it's towards the U.S. coaching staff or the officials. And still more barking. Iserman yapping at Berglund. Maybe it's not a good idea that everybody goes down the same hallway over there.
Yeah, normally that's never a good sign, especially when the tension's already this high in the first period. But man, it's hard not to notice the talent from both these teams and the freedom their coaches give them to play, breaking the puck out. Normally, coaches want you just to go north, 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 off the glass, get things going. But these guys are, they have the ability and the freedom to pull up, buy time and space, hit the weak side, play east-west as well as north-south, and fun hockey game so far. Obviously, Sweden up 2-0, but I think the U.S. has the firepower and are playing well enough to get back in this game.
Yeah, it's I'm surprised that it's this testy. I mean, everybody is following through on their check. Where they can deliver it, they deliver it. Now, and obviously you need to show the coaching staff that you have that in your game, and maybe that's what we're seeing here, that, I'm not going back down if the moment gets big. I'll be there to defend my teammates, but you also have to watch that line, right? We saw some penalties the other days where it wasn't a good time to try to stand up for your guys, and it ended up costing them. So it's a fine line for these players, and there's got to be a lot of nerves on these benches, even though they're feeling, good that they got invited to this, but you're this close. You're one step away from living out your dream and wearing your country's colors on the world stage.
Yeah, you got to imagine, in a weird way, you're competing against the guys in your locker room, right? You want to make this team. You want that opportunity to have that experience playing in the World Juniors, but then you put that USA sweater on and you see Team Sweden on their side, and I think for a lot of these guys, their brain turns to what can I do to help our team win this game, and I think for a lot of these guys, if they have that mindset, that's what's going to help them make this team, is by showing what they can do to help them win this game.
Yeah, the officials now are over in the scorers table trying to figure out who will be assessed what out of that skirmish. If there was an initial penalty on that hit, but it looked more like a shoulder. It was almost like Erickson's head was down a bit and caught the shoulder of one of those giant U.S. defensemen. I don't even know which one was in on the beginning of it. But then Hagens got involved and it escalated, and Riker Lee. And we'll see how the officials sort this out. But the United States already has been penalized 3 times in that first period and have been able to kill off all 3 of the Swedish power plays. But they are down a pair. And shots in that opening period, 14-9 in favor of Sweden. So very entertaining. And we will come back with more. Period number 2. I don't think we have to sell it. I don't think we have to tell people, you know what? This could really get good. It already is very good. We will take a break. Sweden up by a pair after 1 period of play here at the 2025 World Junior Summer Showcase, live from Ritter Arena on the University of Minnesota campus.
Can't be bad.
All right, we are set for period number 2. And they are still announcing the penalties from that skirmish that we had at the end of the period. What did you say there? I missed that. Something would be in the penalty box the remainder of the game. That doesn't. And now they're explaining to Coach Bob Motzko what the calls were. I don't know, we'll have to see if we can get word. But it is 2-0 Sweden after 20 minutes of play. And we had a major altercation at the end of the period. And we're trying to now sort out.
Well, I think more than anything, if I'm Bob Motzko, I'm trying to see all my players, and I
Well,
know
right.
it's
You
a
don't need
summer
somebody
show.
ejected.
Yeah, it's a summer showcase. You know, like obviously a penalty's a penalty, and you want to serve your penalty and get back to the game. But if if someone has to basically be out the rest of the game, that's it's kind of a really harsh penalty there.
Zellers goes to the box. He wasn't involved. I believe he's serving. Let me see if this. Okay, at the end of the period, Eric Nielsen, 2 minutes for roughing. Jacob Kuznica, 2 minutes for roughing. James Hagens, 2 minutes for roughing. I don't see any DQs out of that. So, and I don't see any, well, it does have a 5-on-4 advantage here again for the Swedes. And so Zellers did get a roughing penalty out of that. I didn't think he was involved, but they know better. At least that's what they tell us. So the U.S. will be shorthanded for the 4th time in this game. And now we're waiting on the score clock to put the penalty time up. And Hagens is. So the Swedes start this up 2 and can get another one here. U.S. though wins the draw, sends it all the way down. Again, Spellacy getting plenty of ice time as the lead penalty killer for the U.S. He's paired with McKinney up front. Now Stenberg gets it across the line. Eriksson on his backhand, forced out by Spellacy. Boy, if he was a bubble player, he's really showing his value here, even if you just use him as a spot player and a penalty killer.
And he's really good on draws, and the fact
Yes.
it's just how athletic he is and his size. It's he's made a really good name for himself here.
From Westlake, Ohio, played on the Windsor Spitfires, 3rd rounder by the Blackhawks, and has already signed his deal. Stenberg on the far side. Now back to the point, long shot. Kemp got a piece of that, or it may have been blocked out front. Swedes, though, keep it in the zone. Another penalty coming up. Kemp the save, and holding is the call, but on who? It looks like the Swedish player is being led to the penalty box.
They still let the shot off, which I thought was kind of a weird non-whistle by the referees here.
Lindbergh goes to the box. And so that will take care of the power play.
Just to touch on Spelcy a little bit more, you look back at his points this year in the OHL, which is a predominantly offensive league, and wasn't a point-a-game player, but you just see why he was such a high draft pick, just because of how effective he is in the defensive end on the PK, and he's a guy that you win with at the bottom of your lineup.
Potter now on the draw. It'll be 4-on-4 hockey for 42 seconds. Then the U.S. will get their third chance on the power play. And fortunately for the United States, they've done a great job penalty killing to this point, or this could have really gotten out of hand quickly. And is it what the U.S. has been doing to defend that Swedish power play? Oh, great setup there on the doorstep. Pettersson just tipped it off the outside of the net. He had a corner there. Quick shot on Kemp, rebound, but back to that penalty killing. Is it been the U.S.? And that is an interference call. And now the Swedes will be down a man for 9 seconds, and then the U.S. will have a two-man advantage for 1:19.
Yeah, the referees, called it right away. They're going to call this kind of ticky-tack stuff, and, there's no doubt about it here. There was a pick set there, and just like that, it's a penalty kills over for the U.S. We'll go back to 4-on-4.
And we saw that earlier, remember, on that goal we saw? Sweden scored where they set the pick on the power play, and we're going like, well, if you want to be ticky-tacky, but apparently they are. So you can see the penalty boxes, not a lot of real estate there.
It's a party in there.
Yes. So this is going to be a huge 90 seconds of this game here. The U.S. could get right back in it here. Yzerman, a quick shot right on, and Liv has got it between the pads. But boy, does he have a quick release.
Yeah, that's a pro shot. That's obviously his biggest attribute. You can see here, really good deception by Osborne right to Yzerman, and yeah, he's not afraid to fire it.
No, I don't think you have to worry about that.
Back to your point, though, the U.S. penalty kill, they apply a lot of pressure. They don't give Team Sweden a lot of room, and Team Sweden obviously looking to go east-west, trying to make that perfect play, and Kemp has made some big saves back there as well.
Brody Zemer wins it cleanly, back to Osborne. Now USA a two-man advantage. Yzerman just snapped it wide. So he's looking on that stick side. Now Zemer brings it back to the point. Osborne, Zemer fires a shot, didn't get through. Gets his own rebound, feeds it across. Yzerman looking. Defers to Zemer. Now Osborne. What a shot by Yzerman. He rang it off the post, the one-time rocket. Wow, does that guy got a shot?
Just an absolute missile.
And it was just labeled. It was a half-inch off of where he wanted that thing to go. But what a setup there.
Yeah, a couple looks there by this U.S. power play, and here's a replay, I'm guessing, of Yzerman's one-timer. Just fires it off the bar.
That was off the crossbar, wasn't it? Can we watch that again? Can they back that up again? Was that off the crossbar, or was it a pole?
I believe so.
I think it was the crossbar. I didn't realize that. I thought it went so fast you couldn't really see it. All right, next. Oh, here we go. Let's see, where does this thing go?
Good screen here by Stiga, made the goalie work, and
that was a different play. We'll try to get back to that. Riker Lee carries in, two-man advantage for 19 more seconds. So the U.S. has to hurry so they can take full advantage of this two-man advantage. Just 9 seconds, though, as they head up ice. Potter drops it back. U.S. gains the line. Kuznicki. Lee walks in, dishes it across. They score! Great pass by Lee. And the U.S. is on the board. And it's now 2-1 as they cash in on the power play.
Almost impossible for Liv to even remotely think about anything else when Riker Lee has the puck. Such good deception, pass across. Cullen Potter leaves absolutely no doubt. No chance there for Liv. What a pass. Riker Lee, you can't say enough good things about him. So excited to see him at the college level at Michigan State. Just absolutely traumatizing for the defensive team.
So it's a power play goal. It was Potter gets the goal from Lee and Koznicka. Could have been another penalty there. Well, both countries getting a good look at their specialty team units. Here's Stiga dropping it off. Zemer just pushed it wide as that pass came to him when he was in pretty deep. Now back comes Sweden. They'll dump it in. USO right back the other way. Zemer holding the puck along the far side. Now shovels it ahead, but it's turned right back the other way by Sweden. Ekberg took a wild swing at it and ended up on the seat of his pants. There's a penalty now call coming against the U.S. Shot off the outside of the net. Centering pass by Eriksson is touched, and the parade to the penalty box continues here.
Felix Orquist, the team swing. Really nice setup here. Just a one touch to the back door, but like I said, right before that, there was a couple penalties that could have been called, and sure enough, what seems like the ticky-tack play by the blue line is the one that ends up getting called here. Understand the call, the stick hits him with the feet, but pretty far away from the net to really be
So Stiga in the box, and now Sweden a chance to answer. Frey with it at the blue line. Drops to Zetterberg. Now down low, Danielson puts it in behind. Frey, Pedersen, Zetterberg waiting on this near side, but fanning on the pass, and that allowed the U.S. to clear. On that far wing was Pedersen. Berglund right back in. Kleber on him. Dumps it to the corner. Trying to go quickly up high was Danielson, but Kempf was there to block that. Shots now 18-10, and the Swedes knock it in, coming out from in behind. And so now they regain the 2-goal lead.
Yeah, the captain, Jack Berglund, the second-round pick to the Philadelphia Flyers, has been impactful this entire game. Every time he's had the puck, uses his body to protect, and kind of a nice little slip play by him. Kind of find that softy area and kind of leave no doubt putting it right there on the short side. Vansagi, Kleber, Spellacy, all doing a really good job in the penalty kill. Just a little room there for Zetterberg to make a play and leaves no doubt.
So Johansson gets the goal from Berglund. And we've talked about Johansson and the skills that he possesses.
Yeah, fourth-round pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's so elusive. He reminds us so much of Rasmus Dahlin. Just his ability to, make people miss and be so effective in the offensive zone.
Now back in. Bjork knocked to the ice on a big hit there by Koznicka. Mo coming in. Dishes it across. Open net. Mo scores! And now they're waving it off. And they're going to call an interference penalty instead.
Wow.
Here's a look at it. Mo comes in. Oh, goaltender interference they're calling?
Outside the crease, I just don't know about that call. It didn't seem like he was going to get there either way.
So there won't be a penalty, but they're blowing the play dead and putting it outside the blue line.
One of those games you just like to see the players kind of be the impact of who decides who wins and loses. A lot of interference here by the referees. Here's another look at it. Liv gets across on his feet outside of the paint. Not really sure McKinney held him.
Maybe the stick. He tried maybe put the stick in there a little bit. I don't know.
Seems a little chintzy.
Trying to see what he was thinking, but no goal. So Mo's goal is wiped out, and the score remains 3-1 Sweden. Here's Riker Lee now, tipping it ahead, but it's stolen away. Long shot. Kemp. Oh, how about that
what
shot? Right
wow.
between the legs.
Is that Ekberg again? Yeah.
Yes.
7th round pick of the Carolina Hurricanes. What a move in tight.
Okay, re-rack that, gentlemen. That was pretty impressive. Or ladies, who's ever back working in the truck.
Tough turnover here by Team US, and nice little slip pass inside. Ekberg off the rebound, and oh man, what a move, and great save by Kemp.
Okay, so if you've not been watching this and you've not bought World Junior tickets, I think you have no reason not to buy your tickets. Kemp covers that and holds. Shots 21-10 in favor of Sweden.
What's so fascinating, you look at these rosters, how many of these guys are going to be playing in the NHL within 1, 2, or 3 years, and obviously a routine save here by Kemp. But yeah, if you're questioning about buying these tickets here for right around Christmas time, I don't think you're ever going to regret being able to watch the talent that's on this ice.
No, and you have hockey players, young hockey players in your family. What a great Christmas gift. Tell them, hey, we're going to see that game. Kemp had that one go off his mask, but stayed with it. And now back the other way comes the United States. Hagens takes a shot, didn't get through. Hagens chops it in behind, but it's stolen away by Sweden. And they'll try to get out of their own zone. Now Henriks puts it back in. Olfquist sends it out. .12:35 to go here in the second period. Umdeon feeds it rink wide, but bouncing puck is pushed back out to center. Oleninus to Berglund. Berglund across the line. Danielson with him. Danielson calling for the pass. Tried to get it to him, but it deflects. In behind, Pettersson was taken out, and the U.S. clears. And this will be an icing call against Team USA with 12:01 to go here in the second period.
You think about all the elite NHL defense in the NHL that stem from Sweden. Victor Hedman, just to name one of them. But
right.
You look at this decor here as Sweden. I mean, up and down the lineup, Boumadine, Orquist, Wallenius, they're pros. They make the right decision. They're mobile. They're so elusive, tough to get the puck from, and just such a threat no matter where they are on the ice with the puck.
Well, Johansson, too.
I mean, yeah, we didn't even talk about Johansson, who's wowed us all over this
several
weekend.
times. And again, another icing. So we'll draw it off once more in the U.S. zone.
Despite the shots and the score, it doesn't feel like Team USA's out of this by any means, right?
Well, and it doesn't seem like it's been 22-10, the chances.
No, and I feel like some of the U.S. chances have been blocked, missing the net. You know, a couple, obviously the Iserman one-timer off the post, but, you know, next shot gets us right back into this game.
Off the face-off, Pettersson tried to center. That was taken away. And now the U.S. Rasagi fighting off his man, and that draws a penalty. And so now we will see the U.S. go to the power play again. But we're not done. Spellacy involved. More pushing and shoving.
I think they're going to call this on Wallenius.
Yeah, the hand. He reached out there, and right there, the hand off the stick. You've seen that at the NHL level now, the collegiate level. If you don't have both hands on the stick and you reach out, more often than not, you're going to get tagged.
And it was really good play. Magnuson holding the dot lane and the surf up there. But now is that Magnuson going to Berglund going to the box?
Well, that's out of the scrum. So they're taking 2 players for that altercation from behind the net from each side, and then the original penalty call is what I think we're seeing here. And the officials are just trying to tamp this down because we see it on almost every whistle, the pushing and shoving. Well, now they're putting in 3 U.S. players, so this may wipe everything out. Although the only penalty on the board is to Sweden at this point. So, Celine Wallenhus, that was the original penalty. That was for holding. We'll have to see what they update them. But it is a power play for the United States. We'll worry about the rest later. That's collateral damage. Iserman couldn't hold it in the zone. Islanders' top pick dances into the offensive end. Knocked away from him, but Osborne right there, who's been real key to the U.S. success on the power play. Iserman goes rink wide. Right back to him. Couldn't pull the trigger right away. Centering pass right on the doorstep, and it was picked away at the last minute by the Swedish defender and sent down ice. Kemp's got a hold on with Bjork right in his face. And so Sweden gets a good penalty kill shift there to hold the U.S. down at the other end.
Yeah, with Sweden pressuring 3 up top, I really like the play by Stiga, trying to get over to Zemer, and just a really good defensive play there by Sweden. But Zemer always around the net, always finding that space, and the guy was got rewarded last on Monday, and hopefully he can find another one tonight.
Eriksson on the draw for the Swedes, but he's beaten in the face-off circle by Potter. U.S. still on the power play for another minute, 10 seconds. Lee comes in across the line, floats it through, and just missed Potter. Now McKinney to Potter, back to Hendricks. Puck hopped away from Potter, but now he gets it back. Hendricks, his long shot was blocked. Lee with it. And now we get more pushing and shoving in front of the U.S. cage, and we're going to have an interference call. And this looks like it will be on the United States.
I understand both teams wanted to do some power play work, but I don't even know. What was that? Did you see something? I didn't see anything in front of the net there. That just seemed like good old-fashioned hockey in front of the net. You'll see it here in the replay. McKinney just trying to battle for position here. Oh, he smacks his stick out of the way.
Oh.
Well, all right. That's one way to get rid of a power play.
So now we'll play 4-on-4 for the next 46 seconds or until the referee spots another infraction. 10:24 to go here in period 2. Sweden still up by a pair. The U.S. missed out on that power play opportunity. Now Sweden will get one in 40 seconds. Fry back at the blue line. Plays it to Bjork. Bjork being forced by Reaume. And Sweden forced to come out to center. Dumps it back in. Now Hendricks up on the play. Reaume activates. Puts it to the corner. Versagi after it. But Sweden will come out to center. Fry a long shot. Gobbled up by Kemp. And then we get what we get after every whistle. Little shove and a little push. But it appears nothing will develop out of that.
Yeah, nice routine by Kemp. And, yeah, I guess going to the net. And maybe the first time they didn't call a penalty for a little scuffle in front. But Yeah, I mean, it's been a good game for the U.S. I can't really sit here and say that we're totally getting outplayed, and despite the shots, I feel, the power plays have kind of negated some of the 5-on-5 chances, but if you're the U.S., you can find a way to get through this PK. I still think have a good chance to win this game, the final 30.
And looks like Nick Kemp will get this entire game. He's over to the bench talking with Cam Hendrickson, who's backing him up today. And throughout this tournament, the U.S. has split goaltenders, and this would be the point where they would do it. But Kemp not at all interested in coming out, and Hendrickson not putting on the gear. So it looks like this is Nick Kemp's game.
Yeah, I feel like Nick has every opportunity to make this team, and just having that college experience, I think you see these teams from Finland and Sweden and Canada loaded with guys that have pro experience, and so just to have some of that college experience playing against 24, 25-year-old hockey players and just used to those releases and the pace and the physicality, I think kind of gives Kemp a leg up going into this.
All right, so we're ready to resume. In 4 seconds, Sweden will have a minute 16 man advantage. But the U.S. wins the faceoff, taking off, driving to the net on the breakaway. And he was just caught from behind at the last second, and it was knocked away. Kuznica really has been a big factor in this game today.
Yeah, he's taken a step since Monday for sure. His pace and his ability to kind of break away is hard to miss.
Well, now we're down a man, the United States. Sweden on their 6th power play of the afternoon. Norlund, bottom of the circle, brings it back to the point. Now to the far side, Norlund walking in. His pass deflects off a skate, but Sweden keeps it in the offensive zone. 30 seconds left on the power play. Eriksson out front. Zetterberg brings it back to the blue line. Stenberg drops it. Norlund dropped it off as well. Passed the shot up. Sweden looking for that one good opportunity. Long shot. Kemp makes a save, and he'll hold for the faceoff.
Here's Kuznica breaking down. That's been getting called all day. Kind of shocked to not get that whistle there for Team USA, but got to be really impressed with Steve Miller and the U.S. PK here. Really patient, not chasing, not losing their guy, kind of keeping it predictable. And again, Kemp with another really big save and a big whistle here to get fresh legs out there. Potter's been out there for every big faceoff for USA here, and him and Kip Kuznica did a really good job there on that penalty kill.
Yeah, and Spellacy too on the on big penalty kills. Nine seconds left for the U.S. to kill. Puck is dropped. Fiddler plays it around, and it's sent all the way down, and that'll do it. And for the moment, the penalty boxes are empty. A rarity here. Along the boards. Berglund drops it back. Now gets the pass at the blue line, but Fiddler right there to tie him up. Knocked to the ice, Fiddler is. Officials let him play on. Here's Fiddler now. Coming across the line, but Stiga couldn't hold up at the blue line, and the play is offside with now 7:56 to go. Shots 24-10 in favor of Sweden.
Interesting to see what the time of possession is for both teams. Feel like the puck's been on the U.S. stick just as much, even maybe a little bit more than the Swedish team, but Sweden's ability to get shots through and crash and some little plays behind the net has been the difference here.
Off the face-off, Bjork feeds it rink wide. Save made by Kemp, rebound put in behind. The Bork brothers together. Number 21 is Vigo, the youngster, and Wilson, number 27, the older brethren. 7.5 to go here in the second. Passes off the mark, and that allows Zemer to get it ahead. Hagens coming in, cuts right to the front, and couldn't pull the trigger. Now Zemer lets one go that hit a body out front. Great idea by Hagens as he got around the sprawling defender, but then just couldn't get the shot off quick enough. Back comes the U.S. driving the net right on the doorstep and not being able to finish is Versaghi with a good setup there. Now Versaghi spun around and the puck pushed back down to the U.S. zone. Osborne plays it up to the far side. Versaghi picks it up in the corner. Trying to get out front to Spellacy. That was blocked. Horcroft after it. Now Rayom activates, pushes it deeper into the Swedish territory. Horcroft at the blue line. Osborne slides it ahead. Versaghi brings it back to Osborne. Looking for an opening, and the stick just got on his shot at the last second. Good job by Eriksson to stay with him and deflect that over the glass and out of play.
Yeah, Osborne's made a few guys look silly. Here's Versaghi off the rush with a nice little float. Just couldn't handle it, but throws it right back through the box, and things are starting to open up a little bit here. Back to 5-on-5, fresh off all these penalty kills. Guys have had plenty of puck touches, and you can see the plays being made. And yeah, Osborne's been so hard to manage with when he's got the puck at the offensive blue line, but really good job by Linus Eriksson, the second-round pick of Florida.
Face-off win for Sweden. Kleber steps up, forces the Swedes back, but now try to get Eriksson at the far line. Rayom blocked that shot. Tip to the far side. Ekberg throws it deep into the open corner. Kleber goes to the corner, knocking it free, but not out. Eliasson steps up, rolls it on goal. Kemp covers it. And now we get a whistle and a face-off with 5:49 to go here in the second period. 3-1 Sweden.
Here's a good look here by the Swedish defenseman, Eliasson, kind of just coming down his backhand, not able to get much on it, and nothing really too much there after the whistle. So impressive on these Swedish breakouts. Be able to go northwest, south, doesn't matter. Puck movement, a lot of creativity. Suddenly the D makes the first pass. He's stretching it to the far wing, and just a lot of creativity and really tough on this U.S. team.
Now they're going to be a team that's definitely a country that'll be looking and should be favored to come up with some sort of medal in this year's tournament from just the raw talent we've seen here in these past 4 days.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Bob and his staff here last 15, 20 minutes of this game, using these guys as chess pieces, seeing what kind of lines he puts together, trying to get back into this game.
Zetterberg dumps it in deep. McKinney had it knocked off his stick. Sweden comes up with it. Norlund centering it right up the slot. And a stick was there to block that shot as Zetterberg was parked right out in front. Now Fry throws it rink wide. Sweden again steals, centering pass, and that time McKinney is able to get it out. Long change for the U.S., so they only were able to get one player off. And again, Sweden puts it right back in. Now Kemp puts it up the boards. And out comes Zemer. Overskates the puck. Turns back for it and fires it in. Well, he hit the linesman. And now that results in a breakaway for Sweden.
Oh!
What a save by Kemp. He got the glove up and robbed Danielson, who thought he had it. Danielson thought he had room up on the glove side. But that even got the former goaltender excited.
Well, what a weird mix-up here on the bench that results in a kind of a weird turnover that was supposed to be a dump, and just a fantastic save and a big moment by Kemp. Big for this U.S. team, knowing he's back there bailing them out right now and giving them a chance to stay in this game.
Shots are now up to 27 for the Swedes, just 10 still for the United States. In behind, Sweden. Big reverse hit there along the boards. As Skahan tried to take his man out, and he ended up going down. Chopped along the wall and cleared out. Here's Ziemer, the former Gopher, throwing it in front. Delayed penalty coming up on the Swedes. And so the U.S. will get a power play here with 3:51 to go in this second period. So the United States with another great chance to get within a goal.
You know, as much as we're biased for this U.S. team, I think Leo Saline Wallenius, I don't know if he deserved this call. Felt like a really clean stick lift, and as we've seen today, kind of a march to the penalty box, and the U.S. back on the power play.
So the U.S. 1 for 5 on the power play. And here's a chance. Quick shot, Liv the save. Rebound is loose. But the official loses sight of the puck. A couple of good cracks again by Kwasnicka.
Gosh, he's been so noticeable today.
Yeah,
huh?
yes.
Yeah, off of Lostra, really good face-off intensity here, and Kwasnicka just finds that soft area and rips it, and I think Liv was kind of wondering where it was there, and kind of lucky to get away with one there.
Yeah, Kwasnicka is going to play with the Penticton V's this year. He's a Gopher commit, but right now he won't be coming in until a year from now. After watching this, maybe they'll change their minds and try to open up a spot for him early. Now Riker Lee comes in, lets it go, they score! What a move by Lee! He just undressed the defender, got himself into the slot, wired it. Liv made the save, but the rebound was there, and the U.S. is back within a goal.
That was so nasty by Riker Lee. Looking off the pass, toe pull through, kind of leaks in there, and way to be on it in front of the net there is Horkoff. Big body, smart, little bit of a screen, and kind of a tough one there for Liv to find. And just like that, despite the shot totals, U.S. right back in this thing.
And Lee with his second assist of the day. And those weren't the cheesy second assists. Those were definitely primary assists by Riker Lee.
He's just so unpredictable. He can shoot the puck at any time, and it's an absolute rifle. And such a competitive kid. He's fun to watch, man. You never get tired of watching that kid with the puck on his stick.
The puck cleared around to the near side. Spellacy shovels it out. Versagi, rink-wide feed, delayed offside. Sweden gets it back out to neutral, but then Versagi steals it right back. He'll carry to the corner. He's been playing a big boy game today, Versagi. He's been along those boards all afternoon.
Yeah, him and Spellacy, you can just tell they're kind of finding that role in this team.
Ekberg drops it back, and that one's ripped over the top of the net and wide of the target. 2:25 to go. Sweden's lead cut to 1 despite outshooting the Americans 27-12. Now, Celine Woolenhaus.
Oh, what a pass.
Beautiful pass. And a beautiful setup and goal. And Sweden gets right back in front. Back by 2. Tremendous passing there. And the goal is put in by number 10. That's a new body out there. And we'll have to pick that up. He's not on the sheet here. Where's 10?
Regardless, what a play by Wallenius. Kind of lulls you to sleep, just kind of buzzing around the zone, peels back, and I don't know how he saw him going to the back door, but what a pass. What an answer by Team Sweden, right off the goal from Team USA.
Oh, Nielsen. Something must have happened to his regular jersey, and he switched. Now a turnover at the line, but Ziemer is there to atone for his mistake, clears it back out. Norland trying to get it in front, bouncing puck. Ziemer's got it in his skate. It's taken away, but then he recovers and gets it to Stiga. Zemer drops it off, and a heavy shot just pushed wide as Fiddler walked right down the slot. Minute 15 to go, and cleared out. Fiddler back to get it. 68 seconds to go in the second period. Cleared up the wall. Stiga couldn't get it in deep. Sweden fires it in. Swedes back up by a pair. As Eric Nielsen got that feed and put it home. Frey back in. Throws it in front. Knocked down, long lead pass. And this is an icing call here. And so we'll have a face-off back down to the U.S. zone with 34.4 to go. Now, if you're coming to the World Juniors and you're looking for a place to pregame, Bennett's Chop and Rail House on West 7th in St. Paul. They'll have free shuttles running to all the games throughout the tournament. Joey Bennett puts on a great spread. So that's just an insider tip. You're watching this, you're already coming, right? If you paid to watch this tournament here on USAHockey.tv, you are coming to the tournament, and we're giving you another insider tip. Head to Bennett's on West 7th. All right, back at it. Centering pass in front, knocked down. Lee picks it up there. 20 seconds left of the period. Lee back up high, looking for an angle, dangling. Now slips it ahead to Potter. He'll chase it down. Potter to the corner. Caught from behind, take it down. There's a penalty. Another penalty coming up on Sweden. And once again, a little pushing and shoving, but this time linesmen have things under control, and so we will see. Here's the call.
Potter's elusiveness and agility here just draws this call. Puts number 20 on Finland. Alphonse Frey is just just in a blender, and not much you can do there. And what's been probably the longest period of hockey of our lifetime, it's just got a little bit longer. But USA back to the power play. Hope to get this one back within one.
So just 7 seconds left in this period, so not a lot of time for the U.S. to mount an attack here, but their power play has been deadly. Both of the U.S. goals coming with the extra man. And see Yzerman clearing off the snow in front of his shooting lane. He's hoping to get one crack here. Stiga tried to feed it back, but he hit his own teammate with the pass. And the period comes to a conclusion here, but so much going on the ice here. So the second period comes to a conclusion, and the U.S. will have a power play that carries over into the third period for a minute 53. And these linesmen really have their work cut out for them. It's like herding cats here, especially when everybody has to go out the same door. So they want everybody from Sweden off first because they are considered the home game for this contest. And the locker rooms are down the hall in the same area. The tunnel here leads over to Mariucci Arena, and that's where the main locker rooms are for this facility. And so everybody's got to squeeze down the tunnel. And finally the Swedes are gone, so now they'll let the U.S. players go. But this has been very entertaining.
Kind of chaos all over the ice. The skill, the pace, the referees. It's a lot going on out here.
We came in with Sweden up 2-0. And the U.S. got within one. Where are we at here? U.S. got within one when Potter scored, set up by Riker Lee. But then Sweden countered. Johansson made it 3-1. U.S. got to within one when Horcroft put in the rebound of a Riker Lee shot. But then late in the period, Sweden gets another. And so they lead this one 4-2 after 40 minutes of play. This is awesome. I mean, you got everything going on here. It's like it's a playoff series, the way these guys are playing here this afternoon. So much pride in their countries, so much pride in their individual play, and so much at stake for these players that how this turns out perhaps will determine whether they get to come back to St. Paul and Minneapolis in December.
Yeah, like you said, they're trying to make this team. They're NHL GMs in the stands. They're trying to win this hockey game for Team USA. But yeah, just an absolute privilege to wear the USA logo. Privilege for us to be watching this hockey. Team Sweden, Team USA, both so talented, and I think we're in for a treat here in the third.
Right, and this is a hockey game in July, but as you said, every NHL team is represented here. There are tons of scouts in the building. So not only are you trying to get on your national team, there may be things that scouts pick up here. This may be, especially for the Swedish players, where you have people actually looking at you that may not travel to Sweden to see you play this winter. So this is your opportunity here as well to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, a couple of the guys, Stenberg and Bjork, both draft eligible for Team Sweden, but undrafted guys like Herman Liv and Felix Orquist making a statement. You know, we're not always playing against these guys in the United States where all these NHL teams have such access to scout, recruit, and get to understand them as players. You only get to see them play against each other in these kind of formats. So I know some GMs are probably feeling pretty happy about guys that are really performing at a high level. Some guys, you know, saying, where'd this kid come from? So just kind of a fascinating situation all around, but yeah, just some unbelievable hockey here.
All right, one more period to go. Sweden still up by 2. They were up 2-0 after 1, and now they are up 4-2 after 2. Shots 28-12 in favor of Sweden to this point. We'll take a break and be back with the third period of this classic battle between the United States and Sweden. Back here at Ritter Arena as we start the third period between USA and Sweden. The Swedes up 4-2 after 40 minutes of play. And I think there's been, somebody said 29 penalties called in the first two periods. The United States with 3 shots on goal in that second period and 2 found the back end. Good shooting percentage. Now you just need a little more volume.
And that's not even counting the goal that went in and got disallowed. It would have been 3 for 4. But, yeah, I mean, Liv is a really steady goaltender. He's played great this whole entire tournament. It's U.S. a little bit of a desperation point here this final 20, and we'll see how they do.
All right, well, so what does Bob Motzko, who's behind the bench for the first time, tell these guys going into the third?
You know, I think the first 2 periods, you could easily tell, like, you know, they're still in evaluation mode, right? They're putting guys in different spots. You know, obviously the guys that are penalty killing and power playing are there for a reason. But, you know, I could see Bob here just kind of getting that competitive mode going, saying, you know, I know we're trying to make this team, but let's go out there and try and win this thing. I could see his decision-making kind of starting to lean that way as well.
All right, here we go. Final period. Horcroft throwing one towards the front of the net. Lee trying to feed the point. That was off the mark. And the puck pushed back out to center. Potter setting things up for the U.S. U.S. on the power play to start this period. They already have 2 power play goals here this afternoon. Potter barges in. Tried to flip it in deep. It's now brought back to Potter. Throws it in front. Cleared away. Hendricks over on the far side. Lee, as he was going down, tried to find Potter on the near side. Potter with it now. Look to flip it in front. That's knocked down. Right on the doorstep, a couple of whacks. And the save is made. Another penalty coming up on Sweden. Potter with it. Feeds it across. Feathered down low. Long shot right on. Save is made. And then the whistle as the touch is made. But Kuznicka right on the doorstep again. Point blank. He has had such a great game this afternoon.
Yeah, Riker Lee kind of been the star for this U.S. team. But Vaznicka today has been just a totally different player. He's always around the net. Right there, draws a penalty by taking it to the house. And just like that, we got 52 seconds of a 5-on-3. And if there's a time to capitalize with that shooting percentage, it's now.
So Yzerman manning one of the points as the puck is dropped. A different look on the power play, at least off the faceoff. Yzerman feeds it across. Now he shifts over to his spot. Osborne gives it to him, takes the shot. Didn't get through as that was blocked. Yzerman again rips it just wide of the net. Rebound controlled by the U.S. Another shot, Liv the save. Rebound pushed to the corner. Sweden looks to clear, and they do. Couple of good shots by Cole Yzerman. Last year, he was the top goal scorer among all NCAA freshmen with 25. Hagens carries in. Wraparound attempt, and he scores! James Hagens, and it's back to a 1-goal game.
Sneaky, smart play there by Hagens. For a goaltender on a 5-on-3, you're expecting Hagens to take the net and set things up and try and get it up to their shooters, but with his pace and not really moving his feet, but just kind of a quick stuff, and with 1:18 left on this power play, it's this one-shot ball game here for Team USA.
1:44 time of the power play goal. That's the third of the day for Team USA.
Unbelievable.
I think going into the World Juniors, you may not want to take a penalty against this group.
They're just so effective.
And this still doesn't have Hudson out there.
Oh, boy.
Or Max Plant. 2 other guys that were on the gold medal team a year ago have not participated yet in this tournament. So you could add them to the mix of players that you could throw out there with a man advantage. 5-on-4 now for 1:03. U.S. back within a goal. Almost stolen away. Lee almost getting a little too fancy. But Bjork couldn't handle the puck cleanly. Now the U.S. attacking. Potter floats it ahead. Horkoff trying to put it out front. It's taken away from him. Shoveled up to the blue line and out. And now here's Bjork shorthanded, busting to the net, cuts to the slot.
What a stick.
And it was poke checked off his stick, and the U.S. comes right back. That was Riker Lee defensively that came up with that poke check. Now Lee settling things down, drops it along the half boards, bringing it up high. Potter, Lee, shoots it so fast you can't even see where it goes. Lee again with it, slides it down low. Horkoff back to Lee, and it's tipped away from him and back out to center. Just 5 seconds left on the power play. Potter now shovels it ahead. Horkoff looked like he was in ahead of the play, but they say it's onside, so we play on. Sweden back at full strength. 1-goal hockey game, 16:50 to go here in the third period. Dumped in from center. Zellers now feeds it over on the wing. Quick shot, turned aside by Liv. Rebound fed up to the near side and dumped in by Erickson as he goes down. Rayom back to retrieve. Feeds it over on the far side. USA flying through center. Spellacy charge it into the corner. Shoulders the defender away. Comes up with the puck. Back near the blue on long botch by Rayom. Turned away. Now it's fed down low. Spellacy couldn't handle it cleanly. And now the Swedes will come back to center. Ahlberg trying to throw it out front. Does. Centering pass right on front, and Norland fanned on it. It was on a tee for him, and he had lots of room, but didn't get anything on the shot. Zellers now puts it in. U.S. steals a quick rocket right on and Liv with a huge save on Cole Iserman, who just ripped a shot right on goal.
U.S. definitely putting the Swedish team on their heels. They're coming with all cylinders right now.
Turnover, though, at the blue line. But the U.S. Rayom was able to recover, or McKinney actually was able to recover. Now it's stolen again. Centering pass, picked off. Again, the U.S. not clean in their own end. Finally, they get it out. Moe giving chase. He'll go to the end boards. Magnuson, though, took care of him. Back comes Danielson, gets it in front, and it's rolled wide on that opportunity. Centering pass, hit a leg. Fry steps up, lets it go. Well wide of the target and slides all the way back down to the Swedish end. And the U.S. will make that opportunity to put out fresh troops. 4:35 here in the third.
Yeah, every time Jack Berglund is on the ice for Team Sweden, he is just so impressive. Hard nose, plays a strong 200-foot game.
Back in comes the U.S. Across the line, Hagens, who got the United States with one, drops it back to the point. Long shot right on, rebound, and it's cleared to the corner. Now Bjork gets it across the line. Stenberg rolled it in front, looking for a redirect. That just failed to miss. Now Bjork to Fry, throws it on goal, and Kempf gobbles that, holds it, and we'll have a face-off with 14:02 to go. Not much going on in this one at all.
Well, you can see the U.S. putting some desperation into their game. They're being really aggressive in the defensive zone, trying to cause turnovers, and they're jumping on every turnover right now.
Sweden has just one shot in this period. That was that shot there. The United States has 6, doubling their shot total of period 2, where they had only 3. Off the face-off, Sweden controls, playing it in deep. Ekberg tied up in behind, and the U.S. is able to poke it out. Charging after it. Going down, Spellacy. Lee throws his man against the wall, and it's fired down ice. Race for it, and not being able to get the shot away there was Nielsen, who's wearing that phantom number 10 jersey. Now Potter back the other way. Has Iserman in front. tried to give it to him. It was poked off his stick just as he tried to pull the trigger. Now the Swedes coming out to center. 3-on-2 if they hurry. And the shot whipped wide there by Ekberg. Back at the point. Stolen away. And now the U.S. attacking. Lee cutting to the high slot. Drops it off. And a rocket there again by Yzerman. And that was turned away by Liv. And then Yzerman gets roughed up in the corner. Earlier in the game, that would have been 2. But this time the officials let him move on. 12:45 to go. U.S. back in, delayed offside. Now Sweden turns it the other way. Zetterberg across the line. Cuts in, drops it to Norland. His
Great
shot
save.
off the bucket, rebound, they score.
Wow.
Kemp with the blocker save, angled it off to the side, but Sweden had a man there and buries it. And once again, Sweden counters, and they are back up by 2 as Lindberg gets the goal.
It's a really hard save there by Kemp on that first one. Kleber's such a big body, gets around the screen, makes the initial first save, and somehow Walter Lindberg just immediately gets a stick on it, and Sweden back to a 2-goal lead here. So much happening here back and forth. You forget about some of the great plays being made at both ends.
Yep, Walter Lindberg from Norland and Zetterberg. Time of the goal, 12:36.
Alex Zetterberg, every time he's on the ice, his creativity is just impressive. You never really know what he's going to do, and he just seems like he's a scoring chance machine.
Now puck loose in front. Mole's shot
What a
right on
save.
Liv. A great save. And he'll hang on for the faceoff. The offensive opportunities have just been all over the place.
Well, 2-on-1 kind of appears out of nowhere. The defenseman for Sweden, Eliasson, kind of in no man's land, and Liv just finding ways to just stymie this U.S. team. I mean, between Yzerman and Lee and just about this up and down this entire lineup, he's made it almost impossible to beat him.
Stiga out there with Zemer and Hagens. Stiga will take the draw for the United States. And Stiga wins it. Zemer lets it go. It rolls through Liv, but out the side of the net. And then the centering pass comes back out to center as Osborne had activated and wasn't in his normal spot. Now Osborne in traffic. Doesn't matter, still maintains possession. Trying to put it right out in front, and that was broken up. He's looking for Stiga. Now it's dumped in. Played around, not out. Centering pass broken up. Stiga gets it ahead. Zemer puts it into the corner for Hagens. He rips one across the front of the net. Now in the corner. Stiga hooked to the ice. That's a penalty, and that will cost Sweden 2. And the United States goes to what I believe is their 8th power play here this afternoon.
No shortage for Bob Motzko and his staff to evaluate the power play, but as you see here in the corner, Stiga just kind of dancing a little bit, and Pettersson gets a stick right to his feet, and hey, U.S. is back on the power play.
All of the U.S. goals today have come with the man advantage. Potter, Horkoff, and Hagens. Potter on the faceoff, wins it back to the point, long shot. Stick save is made. Potter wraps it around to the far side. Henricks takes a look. Now plays it off. Hagens. Hendricks, Hagens, side of the net, right there, and it's just pushed wide. Great setup again, but it was just put wide by Kuznica, who's been all around the Swedish net this afternoon. Fed back to the point. Hendricks. Hagens. Carries to the bottom of the circle. For now Lee over on that side. Lee to Potter. Rolled to the crease. Swept away. Potter, though, keeps it alive. Hendricks over to Lee. Side of the net. Trying to put it on a tee for Koznika again. That shot ripped wide. And it's clear to the line and chopped into the Swedish bench and out of play.
Riker Lee reminds me so much of Artemi Panarin. He's always ready to shoot. He's always a shooting threat. And his stick defensively is so sneaky. And his competitiveness obviously showing here going after the Bork brothers.
Lee, I
That
don't
kid's
know if
awesome.
you could see it. He was just trying to get to his bench, and the Swedish guy was standing in his way, and he just pointed, I just want to go this way. The Swedish guy didn't move, so then he faked like he was going to punch him, and then everybody else had to come over and check out the conversation. .54 seconds left on the power play. Osberg slips it down low. Does Yzerman. He's on that far dot. Osborne again.
Nice play.
U.S. working the perimeter.
What a save.
Higgins drives it right on, and the save was made by Liv. Now Osborne. Yzerman a shot. Another tremendous glove save. They're peppering the Swedish netminder right now. Yzerman again down the slot, and Liv just got a piece of that one to keep it out. U.S. having 3 great chances in a row. Now another drive by Yzerman, and he ripped it wide. Osborne, though, keeps it alive. Yzerman to Hagens. To the bottom of the circle. Sweden back at full strength. Osborne. One-time shot, and that was blocked. Centering feed by Stiga's blocked. Osborne with it again. Now Hagens. Going to go cross ice, and it's intercepted. And now Pettersson out of the box, driving the net, and he's caught from behind. He looked for a penalty, but there is none. Now Moe racing across the blue line. Drop pass, tipped back out to center. 8:45 to go in regulation. 5-3, Sweden leads it.
Herman Liv just stealing the show
Oh,
here
my
tonight.
goodness.
Unbelievable. Save after save. Keeps it up. He might leave here with an NHL contract, I think. Unbelievable.
He may not go back to Sweden. I mean, the glove saves, just getting a hair of those Rockets. Now Danielson carries in, puts it in behind. Trying to dig it free there. Back near the blue line. Shot right on. Big rebound.
Nice save.
And coming out to challenge the shooter there is Fry stepped into one. But Kempf came up with the save. U.S. back in on the attack. A centering pass right in front, and it goes right through Koznika again, who is parked on the doorstep. As he was set up by Skahan. Turnover at the line. Stenberg busting in, feeds it across.
What a back
and the
check by
pass-
Mo.
Yeah, Mo came diving back into the play, and then he breaks up the play in front of the net as well. You don't think they want this, do you?
Well, even some of the blocks by Team Sweden on the Yzerman one-timer. That's not a shot you want to be wearing in July, but it means a little something extra right now.
That'll be a mark on your body till training camp. U.S. now pushing it out. Across the line, going right to the net. It's loose,
No.
Spellacy. And now we get more pushing and shoving. And we'll see. Spellacy, you think, may have got a penalty for running into the goaltender? It looks like they're holding up the interference symbol, the official is, and Spellacy skating slowly towards the box.
As you can see here, it's such a tough play. you know, as a former goaltender, right, you want to get that call, right? Guy comes in net, he takes you out a little bit, but Spells, he does a good job of avoiding Liv, and I don't know. It's so tough when they're taking the puck net. I don't think he's trying to hit the goalie there and just trying to score a goal. His team down 2.
So now the shovel crew is out, so that'll give Sweden even more time to strategize here. They have 1 power play goal on 6 attempts this afternoon.
Who knows what to expect here? Both ends of the ice right now. You'd like to imagine Team Sweden's going to get some opportunities, but you know, with the plays being made right now and the reads by Team USA, it's wide open hockey right now.
Yeah, and you know, you watch. We talked about this the other day. How IIHF officiating is. This has been an IIHF called game. Nothing is overlooked. They tend to call games very tightly, and a lot of stuff that people that watch hockey in North America would consider ticky-tack. That's how they call these tournaments. Any contact to the head, incidental or not, gets you a trip to the box, and Spellacy catching the goaltender probably up high. They're probably going 9 times out of 10 in international hockey. They'll call something like that. So now Sweden with the power play and a chance to try to get a 3-goal advantage here over the United States. Quick shot, save is made, rebound, another big save by Kemp as he stopped Peterson and then followed up Zetterberg and denied him as well.
Yeah, we've said his name a lot. Jack Berglund in front, causing a lot of stress for Nick Kemp. And it bounces right to the slot here, and for Kemp to be able to hold his edge and make that save, that's a big-time save on Danielson there.
Berglund set to draw it off for Sweden. 1:48 left on the penalty time. Berglund wins it clean. Back to the point. Now to the near side. Pettersson snaps one towards the net. Save is made. Rebound loose in the crease. Pushed back near the blue line. Pettersson feeds it across. Frey's shot. Deflected. Goes over the glass, out of play.
Yeah, to go back to your point with all the power plays, like, you know, in the United States, especially in the NHL and college hockey for sure, there's stuff behind the play you'll let go, stuff that you don't think it directly impacts the game you'll let go. But like you said, IHF, they want the players to play a clean, skilled, safe, paced game, and they're willing to call anything they see.
This time, McKinney wins the draw to the corner. Versagi, though, is double teamed there, and Sweden is able to push it to the near corner. Fed in behind, Frey calling for it, now he gets it. So he resets the power play, Zetterberg puts it in behind.
Oh, good read.
Yeah, great anticipation there, broken up and cleared. What an effort down low as Team USA gets a big clear here. That, of course, was Osborne that anticipated all that, and now Sweden is called for icing with 56 seconds left to go on the power play.
Yeah, you never want to project on who's going to make this roster. There's so many good players, but, you know, hard to deny just how much of an impact Osborne has made. What a read there behind the net to poke that off and get an icing in a crucial time for U.S. Oh, smart play by Skahan. Eat some time here. Good dump by Hendricks.
And so Sweden has to reload again, but again a bad pass. And U.S. holding the puck, then pushing it in. Sweden now across the line. That pass well off the target by Norland. And Stenberg now will try. Stenberg across the USA blue line, drops it back to the near side. Lindberg in the bottom of the circle. Now fed back to the point. Just 4 seconds left on the power play. Norland down low, centering feed comes across, and it hops the stick of Stenberg. Still, though, Sweden keeps it in. Long bomb sailed wide of the cage. U.S. back to full strength, but they've got to get possession. Now they do, and here they'll come out through center ice. U.S. Spellacy lost the edge in the corner and went down. And now Sweden takes over. Just 4:23 left, so we'll have to see how the U.S. plays this. Zemer knocks it in behind. Stiga moves it on his man, forces the turnover right in front. A couple of whacks at it, and Liv holds his ground to keep it out. That just appeared out of nowhere. Rayom right back in. Down the slot, dishes off. And the return pass is off the mark by Stiga. And Sweden will dump it in. First man to it, Nielsen, sharp angle shot. Kempf, no problem with that. Nielsen gets it free again, another chance. That one off the glove of Kemp. And it's cleared as Bjork had that opportunity. Now Ordqvist. Sweden backpedaling in their own zone, long lead fast. Viggo Bjork tied up by Osborne. He's got to watch it. He had to drop the stick because he knew he was getting close to drawing a penalty, and that's something the U.S. can't afford right now, is to have to kill off another penalty. Puck cleared back. Magnuson dumps it right back to the corner. Magnuson, long shot, misses the target. Now Magnuson steps up. Bjork pushes it to the corner. Wilson Bjork to his younger brother, Viger. He'll throw it back in deep. Sweden now making changes while maintaining possession of the offensive zone. Finally, the U.S. is able to pry it free with 2:45 left. Kempf looking towards the U.S. bench, seeing if and when they want to remove him from the cage for the extra attacker. Danielson sends it deep in behind. Now he picks it up in that far corner. Tries to feed the point, but it's tipped out to center. Long pass broken up. And the Swedes just content to slide it back in as there's now 2:05 left in regulation.
Team Sweden going into a 1-1-3 here, just really trying to force dumps and getting pucks back north.
Yzerman trying to do it by himself. Had it knocked away just as he was slipping past the first defender. Sweden back in, throws it towards the front of the net. Here they come again. U.S. charging in. Yzerman tried to feed it across. We've got a whistle and offside. Not sure, or were they?
They're saying they didn't wait for the goalie to get to the bench. He hopped too early.
That's.
Wow. IHF, baby, they're on it, you know.
Ticky-tack. And now timeout is being taken by Bob Motzko with 1:41 to go. The face-off will be back at the center red line. Shots 39-27 in favor of Sweden. The U.S. coming into this period had just 12 shots on goal. So they picked it up here in the third.
For sure, and obviously a lot of that comes to the effectiveness of their power play, but you know, we've said it a lot over the last couple of days. You cannot credit Herman Liv enough. He has made substantial amount of unbelievable saves. If you're Team USA, who are you putting out there?
Well, you got to go with Hagens. Certainly you need Yzerman. Osborne, he'll be out there the final 140. I don't think he'll leave the ice. Stiga, I would probably throw out there. And
looks like Lee is going to take the goalie.
Kempf between the face-off dots, waiting to see who gains possession, and the U.S. does, so he'll peel to the bench. Extra tacker on, Riker Lee is that man. Stiga gets it across the line, throwing in towards the net. Iserman picks it up there, gives it to Stiga. He'll bring it back to the point. Hagens, Osborne walking in, and Iserman's stick shatters on the one-timer. So now the U.S. has to wait for him to get a new stick. Hagens with it. Osborne coming down the slot. Shot goes wide by Iserman. In the corner, Hagens trying to dig it free. Stiga popping it in behind. Ziemer lost the handle. Empty net for Sweden. And they've got a man going forward. Eriksson walks in and scores. And Sweden now up 6-3 with 51.6 left.
So unlucky for this U.S. team. Have Stiga and Iserman break his shot, or break his stick right on this shot, and able to set up and get a few looks, but nothing substantial. And Team Sweden puts it away here with 51.6 seconds left.
Well, Sweden unbeaten in this tournament now.
You got to feel pretty good if you're Sweden, right? Obviously, the winning and losing in this, it doesn't totally matter, but that confidence heading into that tournament, knowing you can beat the best in the world, it's it's definitely got to count for something.
Absolutely. I think it says quite a bit, and it'll be interesting when they play Canada. That's the last country that they have not faced in this tournament. They beat USA White, USA Red, and they've beaten Finland, and they've beaten this single U.S. team here this afternoon with 35 seconds left. Pretty impressive what they've done. Goaltending has been a big reason why they are unbeaten in this tournament, as Herman Liv has been so spectacular between the pipes, coming up with so many point-blank chances and coming up with key saves at the most critical moments. One last block by the Swedes gets them banging their sticks on the bench, cheering for their teammates. Bjork dumping it down low, and that will do it as Sweden wins it here. But we can't end it without one more little get-together in the corner. And Sweden wins this one 6-3. Next up, don't know if it'll start right at 4:30. Probably will, but it will be Canada and Finland, which should be a very entertaining game as well. Canada playing that inter-squad game yesterday. Now they'll play a game that goes against someone that's not your friend.
Yeah, very excited to see how Canada gets to kind of come in late in this tournament and see how they can get up and running against this competition.
All right, what'd you think of this collection that Bob Motzko put together out there? They give up 6. That's something that can't be pleasing, and I'm sure they're going to look back at that. But that first period where they got behind 2-0, that kind of really put them in a big hole all afternoon. And so there were some last lapses defensively for this U.S. team.
Yeah, you got to be happy with a few things, right? The special teams, the power play. I thought the penalty kill for the most part did a really good job. I think as this team comes together here coming to December, I think 5-on-5 structure, figure out a way this team's going to play. I think that's something that this coaching staff is able to do. But in a game that ends up 6-3, it didn't feel like a 6-3 hockey game. Herman Liv stole the show here, especially in the second and third period. Just so many opportunities for the U.S. team to put the puck in net.
Right, they just couldn't get that one they needed. They got within one several times, but just couldn't convert the one that they really were hoping for to get this done and to tie it up. But Sweden, they didn't falter under that pressure. I mean, there are some huge weapons that the U.S. possesses, but defensively they were able to stand up to it. And, of course, the goaltender is always your best defender. And Herman Liv certainly was that.
Absolutely. And even at the end of the game there, 6-3, the game's over. Felix Orquist going down to 1E to block a shot. Like, that's just the culture of Swedish hockey, is they fight to the end, and they're going to be a tough out.
All right, one more to go here this afternoon. It will be Canada and Finland coming up at 4:30 here on USA Hockey TV. Well, it was a great game. It was not the result that the U.S. fans were hoping for, but I think they saw a lot of positives out of this. I think there's so much high-end skill on this U.S. team. The more they get in sync, the more they play together. You can see why the United States has won back-to-back gold medals here at the World Junior Championship.
Absolutely. And I think for the staff, you have to, you got to take the wins and losses, whatever, but you look at the talent here that they're going to have coming this winter, they got to feel like they have a really good chance to try and do it again.
All right, Sweden wins it. They double up on the Americans. 6-3 is the final. We'll be back with Canada-Finland starting at 4:30. Thanks so much for listening and watching, and we'll see you in a bit.